Hello YouTube. Now your comments on the previous video inspired me to get my camera back out, but things are a little different in my video. There's not going to be as much detail as before. I'm making it simpler. I'm listening to some of your comments and you made some great suggestions. So I'm just going to maybe film some videos when I feel like it and maybe just make it a bit simpler, a bit easier. But this is my video for now. I'm having the S280 turbo, so we are going big power on the Fiesta, but as the point of making this video, I don't have the turbo. I'm still waiting for it to be delivered. It's on order. I've ordered with Rsport Performance, and they're getting it from Turbo Technic. So like I said, it's the S280. We're going to Rsport for mapping, so we're going to be over 300 horsepower. I'll tell you more about that when the time comes, right? But what I want to talk about at the moment is I've got the manifold here. Turbo is all off. It's wrapped up in this towel to try and protect it. But anyway, I've filmed none of the removing the turbo because there's lots of stuff like that on YouTube, and I thought, you know, I can condense the video down, make my life a bit easier, and I'll film none of that. What I did want to talk to you about is ported manifolds. Now this is a standard manifold, and I will show you in a minute. I've started doing some work on it. Now there's a couple of companies selling ported manifolds, and they claim in 10 horsepower or whatever, right? Now to port a manifold is something I feel I can do myself. I've done a couple of heads in the past, so I understand the process. So the first thing I want to show you is the manifold where it meets the head. These ports, right, let me get you a bit of light. These ports, I've already done a little bit of work, not finished yet, but they're already fractionally bigger than the ports in the head. Now if you know anything about porting, if there's a difference, like if these were smaller than the head and you was hitting a restriction, porting them out would be amazing, but it's not. There's no restriction as such. So what I've been looking at is removing the casting marks, and what I did was I made a little template, right? I made this up, traced out where the bolt holes were on these, pinned that over onto the engine, and then rubbed that on. So this was my dirty fingers, but anyway, that was just the marks I left there. So I measured that, then I went and measured myself with a head, and that's how I sussed out then, well, actually, you know, it's fine as it is. But if you look at the gasket, I did make a clip I put on Facebook for this. Like, if you look at the gasket, you can see there's a big difference in the port size. So if it was to look at that and think, right, I'm going to port match the gasket, that'd be really misleading, because you'd end up creating a bigger port in there than is necessary, I think. And if airflow has got to like go through a step into a bigger port, air expands, slows down because it goes to a bigger area, and the step creates turbulence. So my main objective with this is I've been looking at this and just trying to remove some of the casting marks. Now I've already started on all of them, so I can't show you any befores and after, but you can pretty much imagine the casting, the way it's all rough here, that's kind of what it looked like on the inside, only a little bit rougher with some high points from the casting marks. Now I'm going to just clean them up, not really open them up, just smooth them out. But let me get the turbo size. The turbo actually is a bigger than the standard, so I think that's a 35mm. We're going to be going to 37mm. Now I'm not going to port that opening out until I got the turbo, because I want to do exactly the same, probably create a template, make sure it's central, and then get it to match. I don't want to, like, I've been told it's 37mm, but what if it's 36.5 or something, and I go too big? I don't want to be doing that. So what I have been doing is, if you look in, I hope you can see in there. Now let me tap back my GoPro screen. So if you look in there, I've started cleaning up the left side of that port. It's a bit difficult for you to see, but if I can show you, like here, there's like a ridge point, and down in there we've got the, well, what should we call it, a bit of a segmented part of the airflow. So if you look at this, air is coming through here, and this is trying to channel it up and out, and it's the same from the other bits as well. So inside they've got little casting marks where they're trying to divide and channel the air. So I'm not going to be greedy and try and flatten all that to make a bigger opening, because the whole point of that is trying to get the airflow to turn the corner and make its way up to the turbo. So that's what I'm doing. I've done that on one side. I'm going to do some more work on the other side, and then once it's all finished I'll just polish it off a bit more with some sandpaper. So that's just updating it for now. I think perhaps I'll show you once I've completed that, and maybe then when I've got the turbo, which might be another week or 2 weeks from now. But I thought, you know, while I'm in the mood, I'll get a camera out and let you know what's happening. So yes, I just need the turbo to turn up. Right, so no turbo yet, it's just the next day, but I thought I'd show you what I'm doing with the car, or what I've done rather. See, it's all stripped down, and there's, with the S280 you have to just trim out the part of the block for the turbo to fit on. So that's just down there. Now there's videos online, and I just followed some American guy on trimming that off. The oil feed return still got to come off, but pretty much it's all ready to go, ready for the next turbo to go on. I've done a little bit more work on the manifold. I'm going to finish that off, like I say, when the turbo comes. I didn't explain either, but I'm also using these, so I'm checking my wall thickness as I go. I'm not just blindly going after. Yeah, what I thought I'd do, I'm just going to end this video here. Next video I'll film something else when the turbo comes up. But if you do like ported heads, I did port a head on an ST170 a few years ago, so at the end of the video I'll put a link to that. Go and watch that. I think the power I gained from that was like 16 horsepower, which is not bad for a DIY porting job, I didn't think. So I'll put a link at the end. Watch it if you fancy. It was a two-parter, but I think for this now that'll do, and I'll see you on the next one. Right, so just thought I'd add this to explain how you can see I am not removing these sort of dividing. I'm going to try and knife edge it a bit, but if you lose that and I cut that out to make a bigger area in there, then the air is not going to turn and make its way up here as easy. So just remember, think about the way the air is flowing and help it to continue in that direction. Don't ruin it.